Hello, dear students. Today we are going to learn what is a sentence and what are its important kinds. A sentence, is a combination of words which has definite meaning, understandable meaning. It should have a subject and a predicate, or in other words, we can say that the subject should be followed by a verb and many other words which can make sense, that is called as the sentence. For example, he helped us last year. For example, you do not fight for your rights. For example, he lives here near my house. These are all called the sentences. The famous kinds of sentences are, as are given below, declarative sentences, imperative sentences, interrogative sentences, exclamatory sentences, and sentences based on their structure. Like we have simple sentences, complex and compound sentences, and compound complex sentences. Let us talk about them separately. A declarative sentence is actually a simple sentence. It starts with a subject, has a statement or an information in it, and ends with a full stop. For example, I went to the amusement park yesterday is an information and therefore is a declarative sentence. Same is the case with another sentence which is called as imperative sentence. Imperative sentences are the sentences that make a command or a request. It sometimes ends with a period, sometimes with some other mark. For example, go to bed, open the door, do not come in, follow the principles, etc. are called the imperative sentences. So, imperative sentences are those which have some command, some order, some request, some we can say advice. If these things are there in a sentence, that should be called imperative sentence. And another quality of the imperative sentence is that they mostly begin with the first form of the verb. For example, come home, go out, visit my home. All these sentences are starting with the first form of the verb. And next kind of the sentence is the interrogative sentence. It is known to all of us that interrogative sentences are those in which we put a question and they have a question mark in the end of the sentence. For example, look at the examples. Why is 2 wrong? Can you log me in your laptop? Can I help you? Or may I go out of the room, etc., are all the sentences which are the questions and therefore are called as the interrogative sentences. Now we have exclamatory sentences. These are the sentences which express some type of feeling and emotion. And these are followed by, in the end, as the sign of exclamation. For example, there a snake over there. I love you so much. Or alas, we have failed. Hurrah, we have won. These sentences are called the exclamatory sentences. These sentences are also like, what a big building it is. How dreadful the dream I have watched. These are the sentences which are called as exclamatory sentences. Then come the simple sentences. Simple sentences are again the sentences in which we give some type of information, or the positive sentences, which have most of the time uh, independent clause in it, which can exist on its own and has some meaning as well. A simple sentence is a sentence. Then comes the compound sentence. The compound sentences are the sentences which contain two independent clauses separated by a coordinating conjunction. It means that a compound sentence is that sentence in which there are two parts and both the parts can exist on their own, do not need to depend on the second part. They can stand alone and give the meaning as well. And this type of clauses or the sentences are connected with the help of some coordinating conjunction. For example, I am sleeping, but you are working. He paid his debt and went home. These are some of the sentences which can be called as the compound sentences. Then come the complex sentences. Complex sentences are the sentences like compound sentence, they may have two parts of the sentence called as clauses. But in the compound sentence, both the clauses were independent. In case of a complex sentence, we have dependent clause as well as independent clause.
It's 2 hours.
The independent clause of the complex sentence will be able to exist automatically or give the meaning, but the dependent clause cannot exist. For example, when Elizabeth handed in her homework, she forgot to put her name on it. The first part of the sentence is a dependent sentence, but the second part of the sentence is the independent part of the sentence. And these parts are known as the clauses. So if a sentence has two clauses, one is dependent, other is independent, that sentence is called as the complex sentences. We can also have compound complex sentence in which we can have all the things that like a sentence does have, the two independent clauses also and one dependent clause. Then it will be called as the compound complex sentence. So in that way, these are some of the examples of the sentences: simple, exclamatory, interrogative, and imperative and declarative sentences. So that was the lesson about sentence and its kind. Now you will read some of the notes about that and prepare your own understanding of the sentence and its kinds. Thank you for watching.